So this is a young horse. He's we started him in the spring, but he didn't get real big, um, so we kind of just laid him off for the summer, and he spent time out in the pasture, and then had a couple people climb on him here and there, but mostly he doesn't know anything. And so I thought, well, this would be a good one to kind of work on a couple things with. Continuing with the concept of pressure, we talked about static and dynamic pressure. And one of the things about using dynamic pressure, in other words, the pulsing style of pressure, is your horse interprets it really easily. So he knows just from groundwork and from a lot of stuff that we've done, that when he feels that bumping or that pulsing, that's an indicator that he needs to move. So when I kind of bump here and ask him to step sideways, even though he doesn't necessarily know what sideways is, he'll get off of it because it's a bump feeling. Okay. Now the other thing is, as I ride him around, he has tendency to go and stop, and basically with colts, they underreact and they overreact, right? So when I squeeze him, he's liable to either blow up or get stuck. As I'm kind of going around here, and he's bothered by the drone, and he's, wants to be over by his buddies that are over in the far corner and all this stuff that's just normal stuff for a horse. Mostly what I try and do is kind of put a big box out here with my reins and guide him in that box. And within that box, I want to give him a whole lot of freedom to kind of screw around and kind of do his thing. And what happens is a lot of times people don't give that freedom. And so then they try to contain the horse. And he doesn't have a lot of energy, but he's got some, and he wants to go. He doesn't want to stop, that's for sure. So if I start trying to make him stop or make him guide like he was on rails, like a finished horse might be, what happens is they feel out of balance because I'm controlling their head and neck, and they get real uptight and get real bothered. So one of the best ways that you can get a horse to settle quickly is by giving them a high degree of liberty. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So back to our topic of pressure. How much pressure do you use? And that's really I would say probably the biggest part of the topic that I want to hit on today on the topic of pressure is how much pressure do I use? So in the last video, we were working with halflingers that are older, that have been kidded to death, and they were pretty dull about pressure. They're pretty slow to respond. Now this guy isn't particularly light, but he could be reactive, right? He could be reactive. And so when I think about how much pressure I want to use, remember I used the analogy, if you press on your eyelid, that's how light you can get with a horse. If you press on your eyelid and don't press any harder than it takes to start being uncomfortable, and you could actually get them lighter than that, but at some point it becomes impractical. So how much pressure do I want to use on him? Well, the key on this is the horse young? Is he learning what he needs to know? Or is he old, established, understands some stuff, is just maybe belligerent? And on a young horse, it's not so much about having a lot of pressure as it is about sustaining the pressure until they get the right answer. And so, like, I'm going to ask him for a turn right here, to turn towards the camera. There, he got the right answer. My hand goes down. Okay, same thing going this way. He's ignoring me, so I'm sustaining the pressure. I'm bumping with my outside leg. There, he got it, and I release. Okay, so I could get harder with my pressure, right? But what that's going to do is that's going to put a lot of fear into him because it's pretty darn uncomfortable. So when I talk about how much pressure to use, the key, the real secret is use enough pressure that they want to change. Okay, I'm going to say that again. I want you to really capture that. Use enough pressure that they want to change. All right, so with him, for example, if I just put a tiny little bit of pressure here and he just wanders off this direction, off into oblivion, well, that's not enough pressure. So that's where I get my outside leg and start doing some things that are kind of compounded. And so in that case, same thing if I'm going this direction. If I put now this side, he's like, oh yeah, I know what to do there. Here, not so much. So this side's a little worse. There we go. Good. Another way to look at it is do as little as possible, but as much as necessary. Now here we're coming back away from frenzy. Yeah, this side's pretty good. He'll come around on that even a little bit. So, so this is the side I'm going to spend most of my time working. All right. And of course, it's pretty raw, right? It's pretty unrefined. My expectations have to be appropriate for where this horse is at. He is probably the equivalent of about maybe a 4 or 5 ride horse. And we probably put more than that, but it's been, I think we probably maybe put 6 rides on him, but it's been pretty inconsistent, and it's been inconsistent people. So that's just happened to be how our schedules worked this year. But now we get some time because it's fall time and things have slowed down just a touch. And so I get some time to get on him and do some tuning. There you go. As soon as I got that step, I decided to change directions again. Why? Well, because I don't want him habit forming, and they can habit form almost instantly. Okay. Now we're going to do something totally different. We're going to stop. And I'm going to just rock back into the stop position a little bit and just wait for it. Have him back just a step, and then there, I go to release. But I'm keeping my feet kind of down with my legs a little forward in that stop position. Now he struck off. I'm going to put him back, at least back in his mind, back where he was, because I want him learning when I say stop, stay put. Okay? We'll go clear back to where I asked the stop to be, right? This is where I want you, right here. And I can't tell you, if you want your horse to learn to stay put when you tell them to quit, I can't tell you how important it is to go back to the exact spot that you stopped and try and keep their body orientated the same direction. And he's like, no, I don't want to. Well, we're going to just work on this until we get the right answer, and then things will go relaxed. Okay, not perfect, but close enough. There you go. And I just felt him take a big deep breath in me, or underneath me, which is really an ideal thing, because it means he's processing, he's thinking about it, and he's relaxing and letting down a little bit. Okay, he feels like he's going to step off here, so I'm going to just wait for it to happen. I'm not going to correct him before he steps off. Notice the loose reins. Okay, and we'll go ahead and pick up on that one rein, because I'm always promoting attaching a rein to a foot. So when he paws, I'm going to respond with a rein, okay, just by lifting it. Okay, loose rein. Not going to let him stick his face down on the ground or be too fussy with his face. There's limits there, but I want to give him a high degree of liberty. Okay, he's doing pretty good, so I'm just chilling here. Now, I could have corrected him when I felt him start to lean or kind of do the wrong thing, but I gave him the chance to succeed, and he surprised me and did succeed, and that's really what I want. So you give your horse the opportunity to think on this stuff and to chew on it, you'll get really good results. If you rush things and you overexpose them and you don't allow them the time they need to process, well, you hurry them along and you'll get hurried results, which are oftentimes not the best results. So when I get ready to strike off, I'm going to strike off in the direction that I feel resistance. So he wants to go this way towards the herd. And there he took a step. Nope. He took my moving my hand as a signal. I'm going to just tell him that's not right. Put him back. Orientate him the same way he was. There we go. Now he feels like he's got his legs under him a lot better. He's less likely to strike off. At least that's what I feel right now. That can change in a hurry, of course, but that's what he's feeling like to me. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and strike off, but I'm going to go this way. Good. And see him bend his head. I like that. I'm always from the minute I get on these horses, teaching them leg aids and rein aids as if they were a finished horse. Okay, so when I go to turn, I'm always neck reining a little bit first, or at least giving them a little signal there before I go to bump on this outside. So that looks like this. I lay my rein across his neck and then tug, tug, hey, come here. Okay, so I'm always asking first, please. Okay, and this goes with our phases of pressure. He's got that down pretty nice. That side is pretty nice. Okay, so ask, pressure, release. Okay, that think, ask, tell, make progression, or in some circles it's ask, tell, command, or please, pressure, release. You'll hear me refer to all those things. Those are all just phases of pressure that we go through. The other part to pressure that can really help a young horse that I'm going to show you now is to sequence your pressure with their movement. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and make a circle here to the left, and we'll just talk through how this works, because it can be a little confusing. Okay, but if you notice, I'm working on his shoulders, right? His front feet. His front feet are what decide the direction he's going to go. He can bend his head and neck wherever he wants, but his front feet are what determine where he's going to go. It's like the front wheels of a car, right? They determine where the car is going to go. Later on, I'll work on the hindquarters a little bit, but right now, I just want a little tiny bit of control of those shoulders. So as I'm riding around here, his shoulders are moving back and forth, and I can see right now his right leg is coming forward, and I can see it come now, 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 now. And I want to just kind of pay attention to that shoulder a little bit and see if I can time my squeeze with my leg and also my direction with my rein so that it's adding pressure as he strikes off with that foot. Okay, so now, now, now. And what that does is it gives him the signal at the moment his foot is leaving the ground. It makes it possible for him to succeed. Okay. Come back this way. I let him drift that way on his own, but now, now, now. And if you notice that, that is when that leg aid is most likely to be successful. Okay. So that is a key time. It is a key period of time to deliver the aid in a way that he can move. Because if I deliver it late while he's got weight on that foot, there's no way he can give me a good answer, at least not for half a stride anyway. So thinking through that is going to really help us understand how to use pressure in a way that's effective and meaningful for the horse. Hope that helps, and you know what? We'll catch you down the trail.